Good morning. 7:30 something. Leaving Molinaseca. And yeah, today Cacabelos. 25k. And first I have to wrap up the last evening. It was amazing. Now, when you get down the decline from Cruz de Ferro to Molinaseca, it's 900 meters of stones, rubble, leg-breaking rocks. And the first time you see Molinaseca, you immediately fall in love and instantly regret that you don't stay there but want to walk further to Ponferrada. And Molinaseca was once elected as Spain's most beautiful small town. And it's true. And the fact that the guidebooks say you have to walk to Ponferrada is just based on... I was told that Ponferrada invests a lot of money into the editing of those guidebooks. They want to drag the pilgrims into the city. So I tried to convince my fellow pilgrims at Fontebadon to stay at Molinaseca, but no, they wanted to walk to Ponferrada. Sorry for them. Now, I told you I stayed at Hostal El Horno. It's not an albergue, it's a hostel. And it's run by a Brazilian couple. And I've been there 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, I walked there, was very friendly, talked a lot. And later we had a Brazilian dinner where his wife, Jose, his wife, Mara, prepared the dinner, and we sat there with 5 other pilgrims in their kitchen. And yeah, that was 2 years ago. Now this year when I arrived, Jose, yeah, he recognized me from 2 years ago. I was still in his system, and I asked him what about dinner today. He said, no, unfortunately the house is rented to a family and we have no access to this premises. But I show you a restaurant, very nice restaurant. Yeah. And he walked with me to that restaurant. You can't see it from the Calle Real, from the main street. You have to go some narrow streets, and it's very hidden and very beautiful. And he made the reservation for me. And yeah. Then he said, what you think? Before check-in, welcome beer. It's on me. I said, oh, fine. And we sat there for about an hour at the bar. I had 3 beers, paid by him. And then, yeah, I checked in and he said, okay, when you've managed your things, just ring the bell and I come down and we talk a little more. I said, okay. Now, I don't know, it was 6:30. We met at the bar, had some drinks, and then a friend of him, showed up. Was a 75-year-old American who now lives at Molinaseca, a former pilgrim. And it's getting a little complicated. This guy has been living for about 2.5 years in his hostel. He has some money. And now he found an apartment. And this guy wants to rebuild the area around Cruz de Ferro. make it more nicer with a lot of grass and benches and like a place for meditation. And he is in contact with the mayor and all the authorities, and he also wants to pay for it. Can you imagine? By himself. And yeah, so far he didn't have any success. And later he took me to his apartment and he showed me a mock-up that he built of the area of Cruz de Ferro, how he imagined how it could look like. And yeah, I hope he'll make it. It's awesome. Anyway, now this guy, I told you, lived for about 2.5 years at the hostel. And Mara, the wife from the Hospitalero, cooks for him every day. And he said then, Mike, yo, can I have my dinner and I go to the restaurant? How amazing is that? So I had my Brazilian dinner yesterday. It was, I don't know, after all, if I take into account how much they paid for me yesterday evening, I think I stayed there for free. It's absolutely amazing. It was, I don't know, the entire town, all the people, they are so friendly. So it's like coming back home to old friends. And I love them so much. So whenever you're in that area, stay at Molinaseca. And if you can afford a single bedroom for about 39 euros, stay at Hostal El Horno. It'll be awesome. Trust me. You won't regret it. Well, as I mentioned before, today Cacabelos 25k. And yeah, again I have a room. I told you, if I can make a reservation on booking.com for an albergue, I go to albergue. Otherwise, I take a room. And the advantage that I have is that I've been here several times, and I know the good places. And yeah, this time I want to stay at the good places. And some or most of them are not written in the book. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, my pilgrim gang from the last 2 days, awesome guys, they're gone now. And I have to find different ones. We'll do it. Anyway, today should be around 30 degrees and burning sun. So amazing, I like that. Ponferrada. There's my breakfast. By the way, yesterday, kind of funny story, I went into a shop, Molinaseca, and I said buenos dias to the lady at the cash desk, and she said, perdón, yo no entendía, something like that. Sorry, I didn't understand you. I said, "Buenos dias." And she said, "Ah, buenas tardes." And I asked my hospitalero, "When do you say buenas tardes and when do you say buenos dias?" And he said, "In the morning until 2 p.m. you say buenos dias. From 2 p.m. you say buenas tardes. Buenas noches, you almost say never. Buenas noches you say only when you go to bed. Anyway, from 2 p.m. buenas tardes. Before that, buenos dias. Learned from the locals. Now, the medieval castle of Ponferrada. You can visit. It's very nice. But don't forget to take your pilgrim's passport, your credencial, because when you're a pilgrim, you get a reduced entry fare. It's nice. Do it. Last time when I went there, I forgot my credencial, or let's say I didn't know it, and I showed my Camino tattoos, and I was fine to go. Now don't get me wrong. I don't say do not go to Ponferrada, go to Molinaseca. No. Molinaseca is different. Ponferrada is mucho turístico. And if you compare the both towns, it's like Molinaseca is a beautiful town where you could imagine to live in for the rest of your life. And Ponferrada is more like Disneyland. Depends on you what you prefer. Just to pick up the topic sunburn for another time. I told you that on the very first day I didn't use sun blocker because I thought, it's not that bad. It was. Every morning, every time after the shower, I peel off the skin of my arms and legs and it's nasty. So please use sunblocker from the very first day. Now as I'm walking along the street and I watch my shadow, someone some days ago asked me if I am limping. No, I'm not. I'm perfectly fine. But could be that I'm slightly swinging while walking. You know, I grew up in Hamburg and I worked for a shipbuilding company, and someone told me that this is the shipbuilder's walk. It's typical because while swinging you instinctively, is it right? Instinctively try to balance out the movement of the waves. Don't know if that makes sense. That sounds funny. And by the way, I'm an awesome dancer. I dance salsa and bachata. I have the Latino blood inside of me. Maybe that's also a reason. I don't know. Now I'm at Campo Naraya. Just sat down for my reward beer
Now, did you ever had a beer from a frozen glass with those tiny little crystals of ice in it? And if you then just pay €2, it's like the sun is getting up. It's amazing. So I finally arrived at my hostel, Hostal Cilio 19. Don't know how that's called in Spanish. Show you my room. This is my room, single bedroom. Oh, there's a bathroom, small but nice, and show you. I have an own terrace with a view into the old town. Quite nice, I like. So, that was that so far. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned. Until tomorrow, buen camino.